This is Channel 8 News. I'm Nick Jenkins.
And I'm Johnny Harvey.
Before we get to the news, let's head outside and join weatherwoman Reagan Porter. Reagan, it's been sunny for a few days. Is it going to hold up?
If you've been out and about this morning, you can probably tell that it's a little bit muggy and kind of sticky. I've been seeing some people walk by in their rain boots and rain jackets, which is really fitting because there's thunderstorm in the forecast for today. What does that mean for game day tomorrow? I'll have more for you then.
This is Channel 8 News, KKSU LP. From Manhattan and Riley County. From Kansas State University, this is Channel 8 News.
Welcome to Channel 8 News. I'm Nick Jenkins.
And I'm Johnny Harvey. Coming up on today's show, we remember a Topeka police officer killed on duty, a look at a virus affecting children across Kansas,
as well as a visitor from the Humane Society and this week's weather forecast.
But first, our top story. A Topeka police officer was killed during a routine traffic stop.
When a police officer is killed in the line of duty, the remembrance for the fallen officer is extremely emotional. Channel 8 reporter Joel Garver attended the ceremonies for Corporal Jason Harwood.
Thank you, Nick. When police officers lose one of their own, it hurts all the officers, and it's something that they definitely won't forget. It's hard to imagine a large convention center filled with so much emotion and sense of loss as was at the Topeka Expo Center. The law enforcement family came together for a moment to remember one of their own.
After 5 p.m. on Sunday, September 7th, during a routine traffic stop, Corporal Jason Harwood was fatally shot and killed in the line of duty. Family, friends, and fellow officers filled the Expo Center in Topeka to honor the fallen officer. Emotions were running high. Topeka Chief of Police Tony Kirk.
Because while his physical body is no longer here, his spirit is all around us.
And District Attorney Chad Taylor spoke of memories they had of Corporal Harwood.
Presentation, when Officer Harwood and Magnum walked in, at that moment, it didn't matter a word I said, they had stolen the show.
Nearly a half hour of salutes from police officers, sheriff's deputies, and state troopers from across the state. Topeka Police made a special salute in groups of 8, and someone who knew him best, his partner Magnum, K-9 officer. Emotions for Harwood's twin brother Jeremy Harwood of the Kansas Highway Patrol were evident, as he was unable to speak for himself. A fellow officer read his remarks on his behalf.
Forward. Your family will be taken care of, and God will love your boys as mine own.
The sound of bagpipes rained out as the casket was escorted by the honor guard, family, and friends to the hearse just outside the Expo Center.
That wasn't the end of the ceremony. What ensued after the casket was placed in the hearse was just as emotional as what played out inside. Hundreds upon hundreds of police cruisers with their lights on created a mile-long processional to the cemetery. Not many people today start their workday off by putting on a bulletproof vest. The potential of risk and losing lives for police officers is one that they take on a daily basis. I went to the
It's life-threatening.
You didn't ride with anybody, you were on your own.
Officers start the day with briefings where the topics of the day are discussed.
So do you
The
have
next obstacle is one that most people haven't and won't experience in their daily work tasks.
Yeah, they had
Officers
all the-
prepare their cars and make sure they have the
okay.
necessary materials,
Here we have
such as a
the,
first aid kit,
MDT system.
radios,
It's
and a
basically
rifle
where
that is all
we
intact in
have
the
all of our
vehicle. Some of their daily tasks involve potential risk, while some involve more clerical type work.
Typical day is rewarding once you're productive, doing productive things.
Responding to calls and talking with citizens is common in the workday of an officer. The families of these officers are obviously concerned as well, but in the same note, they are very proud.
I think they weren't different than a lot of families in law enforcement. Incredibly proud that that's the position that the family member wants to take.
Although the risk of losing life and limb is there, officers don't think about it much. Their main focus is to serve the people of the community and do so as efficiently as possible.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, law enforcement, whether it's a decision that you made or something that you did during work, you can legitimately affect someone's life for the better. And I find that really fulfilling.
The ride-along was a very fun and interesting experience for me. It's really helped me see police officers in a different light and see that they truly are heroes in our community.
You had the opportunity to see law enforcement in two completely different situations. What was it like to see them out at the funeral of a police officer?
Well, it was incredibly emotional. I mean, we see police officers as these big and tough guys, but this was a different side of officers you definitely don't want to see. The funeral is something I definitely won't forget.
Understandable. Thanks, Joel. The Riley County Police Department has plans to test out new body-worn cameras. Director Brad Schoen says they'll test 11 cameras in the near future, which could possibly replace existing dash cams. The department stresses the testing is a result of careful deliberation and not a reactionary measure in response to incidents such as those in Ferguson, Missouri.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we get back, we'll chat with two people in a boot.
And we'll get a visit from the Humane Society. Stay tuned.
It was a routine grain elevator inspection until the explosions began. Until a blast tossed him more than 300 feet. Then it became the event that changed Kevin Saunders forever. The body of this K-State alum was broken, but his spirit, well, that spirit not only survived, it thrived. Against all odds, Saunders transformed himself into the world's greatest wheelchair athlete, one of America's premier motivational speakers, and the first Paralympian appointed to the President's Council on Physical Fitness, Sport, and Nutrition. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way. Wired magazine calls him the Explainer. His students call him amazing. Over 20 million YouTube views show that Associate Anthropology Professor Michael Wesch is transforming higher education. Translated to more than 20 languages and counting, Professor Wesch's teachings still share one common voice: passion. And whether you're learning live or online, that passion is contagious. And that passion is one of the leading reasons Kansas State University is first among U.S. public research universities in producing U.S. Case Carnegie Professors of the Year. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way.
Welcome back. I'm Nick Jenkins.
And I'm Johnny Harvey. Channel 8 reporter Lacey Siefkin joins us with some special guests and a cause.
Thanks, Johnny. I'm joined by Muscular Dystrophy Association rep Hillary Clark, and also firefighter driver Gary Sevenins, and a boot. Can you tell us why you took your boots off?
Well, we are raising money for muscular dystrophy, and it's something we do annually. We have 2 locations at Walmart and Dillon's West where we set up our crews, and we'll be there for 2 hours from 11 to 1 and from 4 to 6. And we're just trying to do our part to raise some money so that we can find a cure for muscular dystrophy.
Okay. And how did the firefighters get involved with Fill the Boot?
Well, that might actually be a good question for Hillary.
Well, 60 years ago, this year is the 60th anniversary that the firefighters have partnered up with Muscular Dystrophy Association. And it originally just started with a father who had 2 sons, both diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And he just reached out to, heroes in the community and asked the firefighters if they would help him out. And one man just took a boot out and started collecting money on the street. And 6 years later, here we are, millions of dollars later.
Okay. And can people do donations online?
We do not currently have anything set up online. It's just donating, as you come into a business at Walmart or Dillon's. You can stop by our administrative offices at 2000 Denison and also contribute that way. And there is a city code that doesn't allow us to stand on street corners in Manhattan. So that's why we have to do our boot block at Walmart and Dillon's.
Well, that's too bad. This sounds like a great fundraiser. I know I'm donating. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much, Lacey. A virus has recently sent more than 300 children to the hospital in Kansas City.
And there is a concern for people traveling to Kansas City who might bring that virus back here to Manhattan. Channel 8 News reporter Victor Ray looked into whether or not the virus has shown up here.
Thank you, Nick. Although this is a very serious virus that has put kids in the hospital, the key is it's actually a very simple solution.
Pediatric intensive care units are being flooded with children affected with enterovirus D68, a respiratory virus that can cause wheezing and coughing. Dr. Asad Momin, infectious disease specialist here at Mercy Regional Health Center in Manhattan, Kansas, says that the virus first appeared in Kansas City, Missouri.
There were 22 cases submitted to CDC, out of which 19 were confirmed for enterovirus D68.
The fact that the virus has been so prominent in Kansas City raises a very real fear that it could be spread to the Manhattan area.
Yeah, I'm always concerned. I've got small children, so I know work around that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm always concerned when there's a virus that comes around that's respiratory in nature.
And in Manhattan, there were a couple of kids who were kind of showing symptoms which were suggestive of enterovirus infection. And so far, we have not any confirmed cases from Manhattan, though.
Medical experts say that this type of virus has been around for more than 50 years and comes in multiple forms that all present different symptoms. They also say that some version of virus usually breaks out around this time of year.
Most of the cases, if you do just a random survey, you'll find that 30 to 80% of adults are already immune to that and they have been exposed to that.
For parents who are concerned, Dr. Momin says that simple hand washing can be sufficient towards keeping children from this infectious disease.
Just a reminder, washing your hands is the easiest way to keep from catching this virus and a lot of other viruses.
Thanks, Victor. Coming up after the break, we will get a visit from a fuzzy friend and the weather. Stay tuned.
Look at me. I'm so cute and cuddly. I'm also very charming. I'll tell you what you want to hear and sweep you off your feet. I'm also spontaneous, maybe a little erratic at times. I take risks most people wouldn't, but that makes me fun. I'm also very persuasive. I can convince you to do something you'd never dream of doing. And you'll love my stories. I usually stretch the truth a little bit, but you'll believe me because I'm such a good liar. I'm never wrong, and I never feel guilty. I always win, but just look how cute and innocent I look. I can fool you, your parents. I can even fool your friends. Trust me.
Riley County Humane Society. Pleasure to have you here. And this is Tabor. Tell me about what's his breed and give me a little bit about his background.
Sure. Well, Tabor is a 3-year-old Weimaraner. He actually came to us because his owner was elderly and had to be placed into a nursing home, and so we were kind of given the task to try and help find him a new home. He's a great boy, high energy, great with kids and other dogs, and just an all-around wonderful, wonderful boy.
He is. Just before we went on, he's very playful. What's the ideal family for a dog like this?
I would say Tabor would do very well in a home that has, middle kind of high school to maybe grade school kids, not really small children, probably toddlers, although I think he'd do fine ultimately. He just doesn't know how big he is. And I also think, a family or a couple that did a lot of activity, running, hiking, that sort of thing, he'd be great. He's great with other dogs. He just needs a fenced backyard and would love to go on walks as well.
And just really quick, tell me about how we can adopt.
Sure. Well, we are an all-foster organization, so we don't have a physical facility to come and visit the animals, but rather you just visit our website, which is rchsks.org, and we have all of our animals, adoptable animals listed there on the website, and then we start from there.
Okay, well, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Oh, thank you.
Now we're joined by our weather forecaster, Reagan Porter, who will tell us what to expect in the week ahead.
Thanks, guys. The high for today will be 88 degrees, but don't let that fool you because there is an 80% chance of rain tonight. As for tomorrow's game day, you Wildcats are probably wondering what the weather is going to look like. There are going to be spotted thunderstorms throughout the day and early in the evening, moving closer to game time at 6:30 p.m. So if you're tailgating or waiting in line, make sure you bring an umbrella or a rain jacket. Winds are going to be 10 to 15 miles per hour, so if you do in fact bring an umbrella, make sure it's a cheap one, just in case it flips inside out. Moving on to Friday's weather, it's going to be plenty of sunshine for you out there today, or for Friday, and there will be a high of 89 degrees. Saturday, we're going to get back to thunderstorm weather, and there is a potential severe thunderstorm weather for Saturday night, and so that's a good night to just stay in and watch Netflix or go to a movie. But that's all I have for you for weather. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Reagan. Chick-fil-A's founder recently passed away. Channel 8 reporter Daniela Martinez Serrano went and chatted with the local franchise owner to talk about the effects this will have on the business.
Thanks, guys. Business is booming at the new Chick-fil-A in town. Manhattan residents are scattering to get their hands on the new chicken sandwiches. I went and talked to the local owner, and this is what he had to say.
Since its opening in late August, folks in Manhattan have been lining up to try the food available at the newly constructed Chick-fil-A restaurant. Local owner David Hamill has been pleased with Manhattan's reaction toward the new franchise opening.
There's been a lot of excitement, I believe, just in this general community and the surrounding communities for Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A bases their customer service and values through religious viewpoints. However, this is an aspect of Chick-fil-A that has drawn a lot of criticism from potential customers.
I think the misconception that a lot of people have at Chick-fil-A is they say, oh, you're a Christian company. Well, yes, our founder, Truett, and his family, they are Christians. I'm a Christian. But we are actually a company founded on biblical principles.
Earlier this month, Chick-fil-A founder Esther Kathy died. Kathy, who was known for having controversial opinions over same-sex marriage, faced a lot of criticism. However, Hamill believes that having religious values does not harm his restaurant.
In Chick-fil-A, we want to honor every guest with honor, dignity, and respect. I'm not here to force my beliefs on somebody. I'm just here to live that out and what Christ has called me to do.
Hamill knew Kathy after meeting him during a training session at Chick-fil-A training offices.
He was actually a jokester at heart, too. He was just very warm-hearted and just genuinely cared about you as a person. Anytime you walked in, he wanted to know what was going on in your life. Obviously, some things will change, but for the most part, I foresee us being closed on Sunday for many years.
While there has been a lot of changes that occurred at the new Chick-fil-A, Hamill did say that one thing he doesn't see changing is his restaurant's policy of being closed on Sundays.
It's good to see that traditions will carry on here at the new location in Manhattan. Thanks, Daniela.
Thanks, Daniela. We'll be back with a look at sports after the break.
Since opening its doors, the International Animal Health and Food Safety Institute has had literally thousands of people take advantage of the facilities and academic programs that are being developed. K-State Olathe offers a unique opportunity for scientists from industry and academia to work side by side, focused on addressing real-life issues and training the workforce. Progress is being achieved. K-State Olathe, now open for business.
K-State Student Radio brings every game to K-State fans on the Wildcat 91.9.
Klein's going to take a pitch out to the right. Hubert dices his way up and into the end zone for the Wildcat touchdown. Takes the snap. He's going to roll out. He's going to throw deep over the middle of the field for Tyler Lockett. Catches it. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Kansas State.
For all of your K-State sports coverage, tune into the Wildcat 91.9.
Who is going to help safely feed 9 billion people in the year 2050? Who will design sustainable cities that can flourish? Who is going to shed light on dark matter and origins of the universe? Where will we teach the scientists who will engineer our future? At one of the world's top research universities, Kansas State University.
Welcome back. I'm Johnny Harvey.
And I'm Nick Jenkins. Zaldi Du Union is here with sports. Now, Zaldi, I do understand there was a big game this weekend.
Nick, you would be right. But before we get to the big game on Thursday, let's talk about how the Wildcat volleyball team are putting on a show of their own. That's because after defeating Missouri State last week, the Volleycats headed to Carbondale, Illinois for the Saluki Invitational. That's where they basically swept the competition by beating Marshall 3-1, host team Southern Illinois 3-0, and the Mastodons from Indiana University, Purdue University, and Fort Wayne 3-1, extending the Wildcats' winning streak to 7 games. Now, let's talk about the big game this week, and that's when 5th-ranked Auburn comes into Manhattan to take on our 20th-ranked Wildcats in one of the biggest non-conference matchups this season. The game will be held on ESPN with coverage starting at 6 p.m. Central. Now, if you're going to the game, you are encouraged to arrive at Bill Snyder Family Stadium early to ease traffic congestion. And so here's a timeline of the things that's going on tomorrow. The East and West Stadium parking lots will be open at 1:30 p.m. with the entry gates for inside the stadium opening at 4:30. And lastly, kickoff for the game will be at 6:30. And now many of the Wildcat fans will be sporting this shirt tomorrow. It says Roll Snide. It's basically off the motto from the University of Alabama, Roll Tide, which is, of course, Auburn's biggest rival. And so hopefully Bill Snyder used the bye week this week to get the Cats prepared for tomorrow's matchup.
Thanks, Zaldi. We'll definitely be tuning in tomorrow to follow up.
Not all road races are created equally. This past weekend, the roads were awash with color after the Color Run made a pit stop in the Little Apple.
A few of our news team reporters even participated. News reporter Lacey Siefkin was there to report on the event.
Thanks, guys. Color me happy, for I got to witness my first color run. And the charity one has never made giving back look so bright.
2, 1!
It's the happiest 5K on the planet. 2.5 miles of fun, fitness, and powder paint colliding with sweat-covered skin and t-shirts. And on Saturday, September 13th, the Color Run hit Manhattan as part of the 2014 Kaleidoscope Tour. Founded in 2011, the organization promotes personal wellness and a healthy lifestyle. Color Run raises money and awareness to help support local charitable causes. And on Saturday, portions of each runner's entry fee were donated to Manhattan Special Olympics. From Bill Snyder Family Stadium to Marlott Avenue and back again, runners, some more uniquely dressed than others, pounded pavement before gathering back at the Bill to dance, sing, and celebrate with even more color, making the destination just as fun as the journey.
It was fun. We had a great time.
At the Color Run, the finish line is where the party begins. And on stage, the MC conducted dance competitions while tossing out paint pouches and giving a special shout out to the Special Olympic runners.
All of them ran the whole race.
The atmosphere was charged with positive energy.
You did something today that a lot of people can't do for themselves. You did something better for yourself. You did something better for your community. You did something better for the Special Olympics. You guys are amazing.
Clouds of color engulfed the masses.
Who are we gonna beat this week?
No spectator was left untouched. The Color Run brightened up my weekend as well as my shirt. I definitely consider it an improvement, But imagine me with green hair. It took forever to wash out.
Thanks, Lacey. Now we have Austin from the Collegian. Austin, what's going on in the paper today?
Hi, I'm Austin Earl from the Collegian, as you said. We have a lot of great content in the paper today, and our biggest story is talking about how professors and students are dealing with K-State playing on Thursday, whether students be skipping class or professors canceling class. We also have some notes in there about the City Commission meeting last night and some local talking points from the local, state, and national levels. Tomorrow in the Collegian we'll have our game day guide, which is something we do for every big game we have, really. One of our main articles in there is about Bill Snyder and a profile on him by my friend and coworker Tate Steinlage. So we have that, and then we're also going to cover the scene in Aggieville if K-State wins. So it'll be a fun night in Manhattan.
Thank you very much, Austin. Stay tuned for a final look at the weather.
Around here, school pride isn't just some slogan on a t-shirt. It's the spirit that comes from understanding we are stronger when we're together. That's the essence of K-State Proud, a nationally recognized student-led fundraising campaign. In just 6 years, K-State Proud has helped raise more than $500,000 to help students who need it most and appreciate it best. Think of it as Philanthropy 101. K-State Proud. It's just one more way the Kansas State family treats one another, well, like family. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way. Class, study. Class, eat. Play, play, play. Study. Class, chill. Class, eat, study, play, study. Sometimes it seems there just aren't enough hours in the day at our 3 campuses, so you have to make every minute count, especially those precious first few. That's why Kansas State alum Herbert Diamond invented the snooze alarm, a dorm room fixture. Because even when you can't wait to get started, sometimes it's nice to wait to get started. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way.
Let's take one more look at the weather.
Reagan, how is it outside?
As I said earlier, it's going to be mostly cloudy today with an 80% chance of rain. So definitely bring your umbrella and your rain jacket to class today. Same goes for tomorrow's game day. That's all I have to you. Back to you guys in the studio.
Well, that's all we have for this show.
You can find Channel 8 News on Facebook at Channel 8 News KSU and at Channel 8 KSU on Twitter. For all the Channel News team, thanks for watching.
Join us next week for another edition of Channel 8 News.